What's up, guys? It's your boy Kittens coming back to you guys with Morophon, the Boundless, my elementals deck. For a little while I've been playing this deck. I've been really enjoying it. I made it a little while ago as a way to invest in just bulk all elementals. Basically got the legendary package of all the good fun elementals, and then picked up a whole bunch of creature and just like random tutors and stuff. And honestly, when I first made the deck, I was trying to make the deck as a deck that isn't too powerful, not like too much, but it ended up close inside of the CDH ranges, but not really. There's a handful of lines where you end up playing Morophon on turn 2, and then you end up being able to get advantage just depending on what you have. So let's go over Morophon really quick. Changeling, we have him come in as an elemental, and spells of the chosen type costs Wooburg less to cast. The effect reduces only the amount of colored mana, and other creatures get a +1/+1. So he's also a lord. It's super sweet. So I figure we'll go over the common criminals, kind of the part of the deck that's really powerful, some of the infinite combo, draw your entire library style cards. These are kind of the common criminals. Animar to reduce the generic mana cost so that you can start playing everything in your deck for free. Risen Reef to draw cards when you're playing your elementals. Yarok gives you that double up on Risen Reef, and sometimes that double up is enough to draw your entire library, but honestly, when you have Omnath, Locust of Rage, plus Risen Reef is almost enough to play your entire library. The weird line of this is you play a land, Omnath gives you a 5/5 elemental, that then gives you another card up the top. If you have your Morophon out, and you're drawing creatures, you can then, play your elementals for free to get more draws, or you just naturally hit the lands for the Risen Reef. Another land comes in, Omnath triggers, giving you another elemental, and you just keep going and going and going. So any combination of those guys is normally what ends up winning the game, or ends up closing the game out really quickly. Now I figure, let's go through some of the elementals I have in here that you can play for free. There's definitely some more, but these are the ones that I chose to do just for fun, and not all of them are super powerful, but some of them are just fun flavor, like Embodiment of Spring. Ariel dreamed of the winter's end. The next morning, she followed a strange trail and found a seedling in the snow. It's just like, yes. Then we have Flamekin, Harbinger, Spark Elementals, a fun one. Trample Haste, Creeping Trailblazer, Omnath, Locust of Creation. Fusion Elementals, pretty sweet, that 8/8. The Shards merged in the Maelstrom. Horde of Notions, a really strong creature, lets you play stuff from your graveyard. But because it says play, you don't get the reduced in cost when you have the commander out. So still a good card to re-engage any of those engines after they're killed or something like that. Skycat Sovereign, Healer of the Glade, and that's the end of the stuff we can play for free. So once we have Morophon out, we're just plugging those guys out. They have Bloodwater Entity. Bloodwater Entity is really interesting because we can use him to loop a creature, like some kind of creature tutor. Probably the best one would be like Summoner's Pact. So Summoner's Pact, find something, pay 1 mana if you have your Morophon out. To get Bloodwater out, let's assume you have your Risen Reef out. You put the creature on top, or this on top, so then you can tutor again, and it's just super sweet. Creature on top. Locust of the Royal. This is a way to close the game out. If you have your Yarok on the field, you'll get double triggers for when the Omnath Locust comes out. I can kill 2 players on the board at the same time, assuming you're playing through your library and have enough creatures to do that. Bright Hearth Baronet reduces just 1 for everything for the elementals, so it gives you that little bit where a couple of these guys will come out for free, like the Bloodwater and the Royal, if Bright Hearth is out at the same time, which is pretty sweet. And we have Cloudkin Seer to just draw cards, Flicker Wisp, Vesper Lark, Green Warden of Marasa. This is a really cool one too. This, again, this is a way to re-engage that engine after people have killed stuff and just get a bunch of stuff back. Super sweet card. Muldratha the Gravetide, same thing. And the cool thing with Muldratha is that she'll combo with the commander, where you'll be able to play this stuff for free because you're casting the spell. Super sweet. And Vigor, super powerful, super fun card. Royal Elemental, again, super powerful, super fun. Avatar of Growth, I think everyone loves Avatar of Growth. This is definitely a shining all-star. And it's just such a fun card. So one less casting cost for each opponent you have. It has Trample, and then when it enters the battlefield, each player searches their library for up to 2 basic land cards and puts them out untapped. So it's untapped lands. Super sweet. Especially if you get like double triggers, you can just get the game into a turn 5, turn 6 board state almost instantly. It's super sweet. Maelstrom Wanderer. This is a way to close the game out because it comes in and then all of our creatures have haste. So everything we played that turn, we can do something with. Super sweet. Cavalier of Thorns, Avenger of Zendikar, Locust of Mana. Scampering Scorcher is a great way to get a bunch of ETB triggers for Risen Reef. Super fun card. Cavalier of Gales, World Sculptor, Forgotten Ancient, Nyx Bloom Ancient, and Thunderkin Awakener. All right, guys, so that is the creature lineup, the elemental fun stuff in here. I figure we'll go over some of the interaction and some of the other stuff. So we have our one preordained, the one draw spell that's in here just hanging out. I like to use Croaking Counterpart. It's a super fun deck. You create a token that's a copy of a target non-frog, except it's a frog. And then you can flashback it back out for 5, and it's super easy to just, copy Risen Reef. There's so many different ETB triggers you'd want to copy or have 2 of. The Broodwater Entity, the Scampering Scorcher, I'm just picking up random cards. Yeah, so there's just a bunch of really interesting things there. Seeds of Renewal, that's a really great way to re-engage those engines and just get 2 pieces back from the graveyard after things are dead. Situations where you could get like, Locust of Rage plus Yarok to just swamp the board really quickly on your next turn, or Risen Reef plus Locust of Rage, these 2 together to try to start getting minus for everything to be free, things like that. Now, cool, so the artifacts. The reason why I think that this deck kind of falls awkwardly into CDH ranges is because you can have hands where you go Jeweled Lotus and Mana Crypt, and these ones are my proxy ones. I have the super fancy ones because I have the regular non-foils for myself. But yeah, so just to tell the difference. But yeah, so you can end up with hands where you have both of these at the same time, or you have Mana Crypt, Soul Ring, plus like any of the 3 pieces of ramp, and you'll end up with your Morophon on turn 2, and you're going to start trying to engage like different engines and draw engines, or trying to get your Risen Reef somehow on turn 3, which is super fast for a lot of tables, and it's just hand wise. The reason that I justify running it for me and still saying that it isn't really a CDH deck is because Morophon's at 7 mana, and it's so the deck is super reliant on Morophon just to kind of combo and to fully win on like turn 7 or so. I mean, sure, you can still get some draw engines going, get a Risen Reef out, but you really need to get that reduction in cost to really go off on your turn, so your opponents will kill it, right? So for me, I justify using Jeweled Lotus and Mana Crypt because it's a way where you can just free play something after it's dead next turn and just replay it without having some extra ramp or something, and it's just good stuff. Now, the other thing that I think made this deck really powerful was the creature tutors. I feel like this is a super fun creature tutor deck. 2 tutors that I think are new that are super good in the deck are Pyre of Heroes and Storm the Festival. I think both of these are super sweet. The ETB, because it comes onto the battlefield, is nice. There's a couple weird lines where you can sacrifice like a fusion elemental that comes out for free. Find the Muldrotha, and then replay the fusion elemental for free from your graveyard, and you get 3 different ETBs for that. So it's super sweet. And then Storm the Festival you can activate twice and just gets you 2 creatures. Super sweet. Now an old card that I think is super fun in this deck, and a shining all-star, and it's actually gotten me a bunch of wins. Wild Harvest. Each player may search his or her library for up to X creature cards, and then reveal those cards and put them into his or her hand. Then each player searches his or her library this way, shuffles it. Just a shining all-star. Such a fun card for me that I've enjoyed, and just straight up won games. You just search out a handful of cards. There's just lines where you win, where you could just pay 4 into it with 6 mana or 5 mana to find 3, and then just plan to win the game next turn. Super sweet. Some other interaction stuff that I use Sublime Epiphany, Spell Swindle, Fateful Absence, and Prismatic Ending for a little bit of fun stuff. We have all 5 colors of mana, so it makes that easy for us. And last thing we'll go over, is the lands. I have to adjust you guys really quick. Oh man, all right, the lands. So we use a bunch of proxies in here too. We use a handful of our temples, and then farmland, some of our mixed and dual lands. And then we have all of our proxies for our fetches and pain lands. And then we don't have our old, like the Bayou and the scrub lands, but they're just in place of pain lands. Nice arts and stuff. And then we have 2 of each basic land. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the elemental video. And for me, this is a deck that's pretty powerful. It's very strong. It's kind of, I feel like it wins right around turn 5 sometimes. Sometimes the more average, I think the more average turn win is more like 7 to 8. So it's a comfy, fun deck. It's really fun. It's really powerful. I hope you guys have enjoyed the build. Maybe take some of that stuff into your decks. Enjoy the day. It's been your boy Kittens. Peace.